evening, all. I'm honored to be here to join in this extraordinary gathering. I'm honored to share a podium with Prime Minister Netanyahu, President Peres, and Tony Blair, the former Prime Minister of England. And I would like, just in a way of acknowledging the inspiration for this evening, to tell the story of that took place when President Kennedy hosted a group of Nobel laureates in the White House. And he said at that point, he said, the last time there was such a gathering of such talent and energy and creativity was when Thomas Jefferson dined alone. I have no doubt but that 150 years from now, there will be gatherings again in Israel of people of talent and energy and brilliance, and somebody will get up and say, the last time there was this much energy and talent gathered in one room is when Shimon Peres dined alone. I would like just to spend a few minutes to carry on from what we saw in that video from President Obama. For what President Obama symbolized was what has been true of so many American presidents in the past, who along with the Congress have long formed a bipartisan commitment to Israel. Why, so many people have asked, has this occurred? I would suggest to you that it is because of the morality of shared values that goes beyond narrow national interests. And that is why America has stretched out its hand to an ally and a friend. They identify with a country and a people who fled oppression, for after all, that is also part of the American story. And so too, of course, as former Prime Minister Blair pointed out, Israel culturally is a part of the Judeo-Christian tradition and politically is a vibrant democracy. Now, what are these shared values? First place, there is something that didn't take place in America. America has never experienced the intensity of anti-Semitism that has been typical of many of the countries in the world. Why? In part, it is because America lacks a ferocious obsession with religion. Alas, it is race and not religion that is far more likely to be the cause of animus in America. Secondly, America is a nation of immigrants that accepted all comers, who found a home and a place where all came as strangers, and where every ethnic group identified with the country from which they had emigrated. That is why there was so much less concern in the United States over the issue of the support that the Jewish community extends to the welfare of Israel. For virtually every ethnic group enjoys dual loyalty out of concern for the country of origin of their families. And that is why we have hyphenated Americans, Irish Americans, Italian Americans for Italy, Greek Americans, etc. Thirdly, America is a meritocracy where achievement is judged as far more important than almost anything else. So the success and achievement of the Jewish community was not nearly so much resented in America as it had been elsewhere. And finally, the Holocaust made anti-Semitism disreputable within American society. And after World War II, we have seen its rapid decline. And to the extent that it exists only in marginal elements of America, and therefore is less dangerous. It is limited to the private domain and to attitudes, not in behavior. And it no longer affects where the Jews can live, where they work, or where they go to school. So this is why America has extended, and I believe will continue to extend, support for Israel. For America understands the ties that bind an ancient people to its ancestral home and allowed the Jews to be free to grow into a majority. Finally, of course, it is also true that America has had to grapple with the effects of terrorism in the nation's civil life. So we understand better Israel's dilemma in dealing with the terrorism that has its root in religious fanaticism and in what Prime Minister Blair referred to as the closed minds. There is one transformation, though, that is taking place all around the world, and that is the role of the image. The image is conveyed primarily through television or similar visual media. Those images may tell a specific truth, but cumulatively can distort the truth. And so it will behoove the Israelis and all political leaders to find a way to cope with the fact that these images can sometimes dominate the emotions of the reaction of the people who see them. And this can be very debilitating for people who wish to lead a country and to take controversial decisions. But it is wonderful to see the kind of progress that a tiny country like Israel has been able to make on all levels. And I'm sure that Israel, as a democracy, will be able to find a way to cope with this, as will so many others. So I am honored to be here and to be a part of this evening. And I believe that this is but a harbinger of so many gatherings of this sort to come, gatherings that feed off of the extraordinary talents and creative energies that have been so much a part of the Jewish tradition and the tradition of Israel. Now, the Jewish tradition, is a tradition of the Word, of the book. And as I said, we are now in a world of images, so it is going to take a bit of a transformation. But I look forward to working with that. And I want to thank you all for the opportunity to speak to you and to have the chance to be the chairman of this extraordinary gathering. Thank you all very much.